So we publish, every year we publish an anthology of the students' writings. And so we are just publishing our third this year. And here we also publish their work on our website, and we also have a couple of partner organizations now that have been drawn to our students' stories that are publishing them. There's a magazine called the Good Men Project that publishes them every week, and there's a magazine called Narratively that publishes periodically, publishes our students' work. So the importance of it for me, because I come from a writing background, and I most recently, the last 10 or 12 years, I've been focused on memoir, teaching memoir and writing memoir. And what I've seen in when people write their own story, some of the pain of that story is released. And so part of what we do in P.O.P.S is like offer opportunities to release some of the sorrow, and sometimes to release some joy too. I mean, I would say most of the stories are dark, but they bring light. And so a piece of it is because I want the students to have that experience of releasing stories that have been secret. And a piece of it is, I think these are stories people need to hear. And so, and these are the voices that don't get heard. And so one of my missions is getting the books and their stories and their voices and what they have to say to the world out into the world, because I think people need to hear it. I think the average person should be conscious that our prison system is a monolith and impossible and has jaws this big and swallows all kinds of people, and that the idea that someone in prison is that everyone in prison is just a bad person is madness. And to know that our prisons are full of human beings, and that those human beings have all sorts of other human beings in their life who are being affected by the madness that is, we're out of control as a nation with punishing, and and we don't offer opportunities for people to redeem themselves. And you know, I always say to people, like, do you define yourself as the worst act of your life? Because if you're defining prisoners by the worst act of their life, then you have to do that to yourself as well. Look at yourself. What's the worst thing you ever did? Is that how you think of yourself? Is that who you are? Yeah, never to give up. There's a few people I can think of. My father was a POW in World War II, and he's one of my real models, because he has this, like, he survived, and he was very young, and you know, he didn't expect to survive, and he always talks about how the day he walked out of the prisoner of war camp, ever since then everything's been a gift. And I think, you know, maybe seeing all the gifts that we have when we're alive, he's helped me sort of look at things that way, and not to. If I were able to talk to my 16-year-old self, wow. Well, first of all, to know that life is full of surprises, surprising corners that you'll discover, and that you should stay open to all opportunities, that pretty much everything's an opportunity, even when it looks. My husband has this saying that's, how is the worst thing that happens to you the best thing that happens to you, and how is the best thing that happens to you the worst thing? I think it's that, like, that understanding that sometimes things that look like they're really problems are really opportunities in disguise. I would have spent a lot less time feeling bad and more time taking advantage of opportunities. I want people to bring P.O.P.S to schools everywhere. I want there to be all kinds of people who understand the power of what it is. And I want all the kids who are part of P.O.P.S to be part of that legacy, like bringing it everywhere. That's my sort of vision. That I see all these in the room. I see all these people who I think people don't perceive as leaders become leaders. The minute they feel that they are being heard, and the minute they feel like they are being respected, and that they have something to offer, they become leaders. And that's what I want them to be.
Thank you for watching A Wise Way. Subscribe to stay updated, share to pass the knowledge, or view our other videos on the left.